You're on a retro trek with the Caramel Apples, a podcast that brings you a retro pop culture vibe, both crunchy and sweet. This week, we're going to deep dive into a most memorable, lovable throwback memory consisting of cherished animated characters showcased in wonderful cartoon shorts of yesteryear that will absolutely cause us to gush with nostalgic excitement. What are some of your favorite and fondest memories surrounding Tom and Jerry? With your hosts Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee. Coop, our Carmelicious deep dive topic into some wonderfully warm retro goodness is pinging white hot off of the charts this week.
Yes.
Yeah, nearly every Gen X Xennial kid should know, remember, and cherish any and all things Tom and Jerry.
Oh, yes. Yes, Kennedy. Oh, completely missed. The cartoon and retro show offerings that captured our attention effortlessly. They drew us or pulled us into the fun and action of these worlds.
Yeah.
This is caramel goodness fodder that truly ignited our most colorful imaginations. But as per usual, we have a lot to unpack. But before we launch into our retro discussion this week, we just wanted to remind you to hit the subscribe button and visit us on YouTube, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Also, check out our official website, RetroTrekwithTheCaramelApples.com, to see all of the latest and greatest updates going down in the Retro Orchard. Okay, our discussion is set to be most informative, fun, but definitely quite the entertaining throwback.
Oh, indeed it will be, Cooper Lee.
Yay!
Yes, let's flash back.
Okay.
So Tom and Jerry was one of the early animations from the 50s, generally considered to be some of the best hand-drawn animation ever produced, in which they influenced and inspired many future animators and illustrators. This is undebatable and easily seen. These older cartoon offerings hold up very well, even by today's current standards, bar none. Tom and Jerry is an animated media franchise series of comedy film shorts starting in the year 1940 by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. This collection, best known for its 161 theatrical film shorts by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, or MGM, the series centers on the obvious enmity between our star characters of a cat named Tom and a mouse named Jerry.
Oh.
We can totally see them now in our mind's eye.
Yes.
Boy, do we. Many shorts also feature several reoccurring supporting characters. More on them here in a bit.
Oh my goodness. We loved watching some serious sessions of Tom and Jerry. I have a cool fun fact to start our fascinating discussion out on, though. Fun fact, did you know that the term Tom and Jerry was a commonplace phrase for young men given to drinking, gambling, and riotous living in 19th century London, England? Pretty crazy, huh?
A little bit. Oh my goodness.
What? So like our star animated pair, we're peering into this time around in the Retro Orchard. Tom and Jerry are constantly caught up in the endless game of cat and mouse, pun intended. Well, what do you know? What a shocking coincidence, huh, Kennard?
Oh, yeah.
So this famous game of cat and mouse was first created when our designer, storyteller, Joseph Barbera teamed up with director William Hanna.
Okay.
Another fun fact, Tom and Jerry and their first outing, Puss Gets the Boots, Boot, 1940, were cutely coined Jasper and Jinx. They were renamed by animator John Carr after a traditional American Christmas cocktail. I just love the history. We learned a bevy of cool things on so many of our cherished retro topics.
I know. Tom and Jerry this week is a most warm, nostalgic topic to reflect on. It's been a long time coming, hasn't it, Cooper?
Sure, yes.
I'm kind of glad the creative execs decided to change their original monikers of Jasper and Jinx to what our collective memories have processed, that of Tom and Jerry.
It just flows better.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I remember those. And the one
Yeah.
with I think with the vacuum or whatever when he was supposed to be Jasper.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he was just kind of like a fraidy cat. Like he was cute and all kind of squishy looking.
He was. I totally know what you're talking about. Yes.
So now Tom, the house cat, is stuck in a never ending rivalry with our house mouse, Jerry. Jerry uses his cleverness and cunning ways to outwit Tom in his countless attempts to catch his little buddy Jerry. But the big question is who will account for all the chaotic destruction that follows these two like a bad penny?
We certainly have multiple opportunities to find out. In the show's original run, Mr. Hanna-Barbera got busy and produced, get this, 114 Tom and Jerry shorts for MGM from 1940 to 58. It was actually during this time frame that they won 7 Academy Awards for Best Animated Short Film.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So, more than any other animated series. Tying for first place with Walt Disney's Silly Symphonies with the most awards in that category. And we are not surprised.
No, we're not. And I just want to make this small note here that Tom and Jerry won 7 Academy Awards.
Right, yeah.
Coop, these are cartoons. Like this is grade A entertainment. These were cartoons.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
These cartoons were better crafted and created than some of the excuse me, Hollywood, but the slop that they put out now. I mean production. I'm talking like supposedly big film, big theater, big screen type stuff. It's like yawn.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact that it takes so much. These were drawings. You have
Yep.
to make them match up. Like, the animation's no joke, right? I
No,
mean,
not at all.
so they probably love the fact that they have computer-aided software that they can, probably get things done a lot quicker and everything. But you have to take your hats off to the animators who actually drew pictures to make this happen. And like you said, it'd be so entertaining that they could win awards for that. Like, that's no joke.
Yeah, that is hardcore. Caramel
It really
hardcore.
is. We love it.
We do. We endorse this message.
Yes.
But since then, there have been multiple TV spin-offs. Most recently, The Tom and Jerry Show, and the pair have appeared in various comics since the year 1942. So there have also been several feature films based on the series as well as a musical theater adaptation. The 50s original,
And the best.
they certainly are still shown widely today and enjoyed for their slapstick humor and the characterization of the quintessential battling cat and mouse. Some of the shorts, due to the racial and ethnic prejudices of the time and warnings and disclaimer about content now found on television platforms and streaming services. That's just kind of how it was back then. We've mentioned this tidbit in other Trek retros in the past, especially in pointing this particular clause out when it came to old school retro entertainment.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, movies, cartoons, TV, and the list goes on and on. That's just what it was back then. More on that too here shortly.
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
Oh, we just got started and already we're caramel deep diving headfirst into this amazing nostalgic throwback. Fun fact, did you know that after the MGM Cartoon Studio shuttered its doors in 1958, MGM thankfully revived the series with a Mr. Gene Deutsch directing an additional 13, count 'em, 13 Deutsche shorts opted for more exotic location portrayals, such as a 19th century whaling vessel, the jungles in Nairobi, ancient Greek Acropolis, or the Wild Wild West. Now, this character we'll get to hear in a bit, but Tom's initial owner, Mammy Two Shoes, was eventually replaced as Tom's owner, that being a bald, overweight, short-tempered, middle-aged Caucasian male who curiously bore a striking resemblance to another of Deutsch's characters, Clint Cobbler.
Okay.
His treatment of Tom, often choking, thrashing, repeatedly beating Tom's character, was predictably poorly received.
Wow.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Right.
Yeah, kids, they know between right and wrong, right? Like, they're learning,
Yeah.
but they can still say, I don't think I like that very well. And of course, parents can weigh in on that too, but kids, they can decipher stuff.
That's a no bueno.
Exactly. And honestly, there's nothing attractive about witnessing the idea of animal abuse for anybody.
Yeah.
So even if it's towards an animated character. So despite all of the whispers on his work, Deutsch's shorts were commercial successes. And Tom and Jerry shorts for Rembrandt Films was 1961 to 1962.
And real quick, you were talking about how one of those, I always loved the Greek Acropolis ones. I remember
Yes.
those.
Uh-huh.
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
And the one about Moby Dick, where he called him Dickie Mo.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And you can totally remember the way they move differently, even. The characters move differently.
Yeah.
They're more jerky.
Yeah, they were jerky, weren't they?
Yes. And the music. Yeah. I don't know. I totally remember them. And it seemed like there was a lot more than that, right? I mean, because you could watch these on repeat and, you don't necessarily pay attention to maybe how many times you watched them, but it seemed like there was a lot more. But, when you do the deep dive, you're like, oh, man, it wasn't as many as you thought.
Yeah, and it's true. But we grew up on Tom and Jerry. So,
absolutely.
We're always pounding on nostalgia and how we're just like, oh, yeah, warm and fuzzy.
Yes.
But no, seriously, Tom and Jerry was that for us. Like, yeah, we watched this religiously.
We really did. We absolutely loved them.
Yes, what say you, Tom? Well, I think our furry friend is in highly agreement there.
So classic.
Tom and Jerry became the highest grossing animated short film collection of that era, even overtaking another of our precious retro throwback classics, that of Looney Tunes. So, again, Coop and I are completely nuts, 100%. Boo, you. Speaking of cats. Oh, good grief. Busy.
You need me. You need my meows.
Well, she's outside for now.
Uh-oh, my kitty.
Where was I? Oh, Looney Tunes. So yeah, Looney Tunes, you'll have to check out our recent Orchard Trek retro we did on this. We did a countdown on all the nutty characters therein, and there were so many good ones to discuss and talk about.
Yeah, a lot. So many, exactly.
Yeah, so check that out right here in the Retro Orchard. Looney Tunes and the nostalgia therein. Yeah, so back to Tom and Jerry, though. Chuck Jones, so familiar, we can see his name included in the opening credits of his cartoon shorts.
Yes.
Mr. Chuck Jones produced another 34 Tom and Jerry shorts with a company or group called Sib Tower 12 Productions between the years 1963 through 1967.
So getting into the meat of what Tom and Jerry is, This influential revolutionary cartoon about the classic cat clashing, chasing the mouse, set us Gen Xer kids up for a fun ride back when we were coming up.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, I know, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
like you settle in for a good time. You were
Yeah,
so excited for it. Cartoons were the business back in the day.
they were. It was good to be children back then when we were coming up. It definitely was.
Yes, you were either excited to play outside or come in and watch cartoons. That was those two choices, and you were like, "Yay, life is good."
Yep, yep.
And Tom and Jerry was definitely one of the cooler cartoon offerings our mom didn't make too much of a fuss about. She was surprisingly okay with us watching it on a regular basis.
Yeah, which was very curious because our mom was pretty hardcore when she comes to combing our entertainment. She did not squeal about this one.
I think she enjoyed it. I think she liked it. Thanks, Mom.
So many of the Tom and Jerry shorts were surprisingly pretty violent for its time.
Yeah.
The regular anvils, the use of boulders, TNT, guns, Coop, even portraying Iron Maidens.
Yeah. And no, not the English heavy metal band who we all remember well from the recent retro past.
Correct, Cooper Lee. So, since this is no doubt a dated reference, what exactly was an Iron Maiden that was included therein from time to time? So, Iron Maidens, in historical context, was an instrument of torture consisted of a coffin shaped box lined with said spikes. Excuse me, iron spikes. Yikes. Yeah.
That's scary. Oh my goodness, brutal.
Well, I remember seeing this in the cartoon.
Yes.
Some of the other ones, not just Tom and Jerry. I think Looney Tunes have had them. I think maybe Popeye and some of those.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And like you've even seen him in other movies. And if I'm not mistaken, I think somebody, it might have even been a Batman, he got inside of it. He closes the doors and then the iron spikes retract so that he can go down. But it's
Oh, yeah.
go down to his cave. I think it was Batman
Was it
in
The
the
Dark Knight?
60s. It
Oh, the
could have been.
60s. Okay.
I can't even. It's a Batman, I think. But yeah, like that device looks brutal.
Yeah, it
Oh my
does.
goodness, that's
Yeah.
scary.
Okay, so they portrayed these in cartoons for kids. So they're
Exactly. Yes.
items of torture? What?
What?
What say you, Tom?
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
Duly noted.
Duly noted. So did we mention that Tom and Jerry portrayed and showcased many scenes all throughout our viewing them? Some were rather significantly violent. Now, I'm not very confused that Mom allowed us to watch it as much as she did, but that's okay. We ain't mad. Ain't mad at all.
No, we are not. We'll forgive her this time. Well, Cooper, the team effort and brilliant art animation of Hanna-Barbera truly made the cartoons a pleasure to view.
Mhm.
The colors for its time was refreshingly bright and quite the anticipated treat to view as a wide-eyed young one. We regularly tuned into Tom and Jerry because we just wanted to laugh. As we've stated many times on a loop here on the Retro Orchard, nothing, absolutely nothing beats a good childhood memory. Now, that's something near and dear that thankfully no one can change or take away from us. Our Tom and Jerry memories are safe and secure.
Totally, Kennard. As you said, it's what shaped you growing up. Like, if you take any of those retro gems that we love to go back and reminisce on, that nostalgic part of our existence, if you changed any of that, you'd be a different person. So,
Oh, yeah.
thank goodness for Tom and Jerry. And, growing up, Tom and Jerry would often be on television right after we'd get home from school, as we mentioned, and we absolutely loved it. I look forward to the zany slapstick humor, but I'll be honest, I shudder to think of how many poor parents of our generation often worried about kids targeting and disciplining the family cat with hammers, knives, or other dangerous items when their backs were turned or busy doing other things.
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
So, hence the viewer's discretion is advised disclaimer frequently provided in tandem to the shorts. Yet, aside from the brief displays of violence and other questionable behavior presented, Tom and Jerry was still a solid nostalgic offering. Cartoons of this quality and magnitude seem to sadly be or have already gone the way of the dodo. Perhaps as we've mentioned how it's permitted some questionable behavior and innuendos that remained in place for the time that they were presented in.
Yeah. Comedic fights between our two protagonists are often set in the backdrop of a house, centering on the nutty adventures of Tom, who is often enlisted by his long suffering human, all the while attempting to capture Jerry. Easy mayhem and destruction ensues. Like most of our animated pairs and dynamic duos, Tom rarely succeeds in catching Jerry, mainly due to Jerry being no dummy. Jerry's got cleverness and cunning abilities aplenty in his ornery arsenal.
Oh, duly noted, Tom. Watch out for that clever little mouse. On many occasions, Tom and Jerry have managed to display moments of genuine friendship and concern for each other's well-being. That's heartwarming.
Yeah.
But other times, the duos set aside their competitiveness in order to pursue a common goal. Despite their relentless attacks on one another, they've come through for each other and save each other's skin when the going got tough. Tom and Jerry are known to possess some of the most violent cartoon gags ever devised in theatrical animation.
Oh, that clause again.
Yeah. Tom is awful and always busy, but make no mistake, Mr. Bad Jerry's methods of retaliation are far more violent and cold-blooded than Tom's shenanigans, often with frequent success. He did always seem to one-up him, right?
Oh, totally, yes. Little demented creature.
I know, because Jerry, maybe he had size on his side, right? I mean, him being small, he could get in places and do things quickly. Whereas
Right.
Tom, he's big and he's got those big puppy paws and he's fluffy. There's a little more extra effort on his part. Fun fact. While Tom and Jerry have been openly criticized over its excessive displays of violent behavior, it is noted that there's no blood or gore shown in the scenes, only splashed paint or ketchups, perhaps.
Now, I couldn't wait to mention this. And this right here is such a crisply, vivid memory surrounding Tom and Jerry, and it hotly powered the message entertainment of it. It was the brilliant performance and placement of the music playing a key role in the cartoon shorts, placing emphasis on the constant action going on, filling in for traditional sound effects, which lent real emotion to the scenes.
And on that tip, fun fact, Scott Bradley.
Oh, I can see his name scrawled across the TV screen right now in the opening credits, too.
Right?
Yeah.
He created complex scores that combined key elements of jazz, classical, and pop music. Mr. Bradley often used modern contemporary pop songs and songs from other films closely associated with MGM films such as Meet Me in St. Louis, and The Wizard of Oz. both starring one of the biggest iconic Hollywood stars back during the nostalgic old Hollywood time. Can you recall the nostalgic connection of the two throwback films we just mentioned? Weigh in, you Orchard Archivers.
Oh, that's wild, Coop, and hopefully we'll get some good answers here in just short order. Yeah, but real quick, I know, like talking about the music and stuff, if you even watch some of the old Hollywood golden era movies, the
Yeah.
credits, the music, a lot of the way the scenes are set up and play out, the cartoons emulated that.
Right.
Yeah, which
Right.
again, they won 7 Academy Awards because these things were hardcore. These things were like complete caramel snippets of entertainment, like A1.
Right. And it's interesting because just mentioning the fact of Wizard of Oz,
Mhm.
curiously enough, right now we're in the season where people are thinking about it. I mean,
Yeah.
from end of November into December, you can find it playing, pretty much on any streaming device. Probably have one in your home. The Wizard of Oz is huge. But this year in particular, it's really, really hitting the theaters and making people
Yeah.
think of it because of the movie Wicked. So
Yep. Yep. Yep.
so it's cool. MGM, people are thinking about it right now, and Tom and Jerry was heavy. Tom and Jerry
They
was
were.
about it, right?
Yeah, just all the components about it. We talk about nostalgia, but like that is, you can hear the nostalgia. You can feel the nostalgia. Like
Yes,
it is nostalgia personified. So yeah, 100%
absolutely.
cool. Yeah.
Love it.
So I also find it interesting to note that our pair almost never spoke,
Yeah.
which we keenly recall.
Yep.
Most of the vocal effects used for Tom and Jerry are the ever familiar high pitched laughs or gasping screams.
Mm.
Oh my God, I never get tired of that.
I know.
Tom just loves to taunt poor Jerry, but by the final fade out of each short, Jerry usually gets the best of old Tom.
Mm.
Both characters display sadistic tendencies.
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
Kennedy, can you go back to both characters?
Oh, okay. Both characters display sadistic tendencies, taking great pleasure in tormenting one another or any other unfortunate passerby, no doubt in response to a highly triggering event. But Jerry tends to get frustrated with Tom when one of his many love interests enters the scenario. Uh-oh, is old Jerry jelly?
Oh, yes. And one of my favorites is his googly eyed endeavor to woo a dainty white kitty named Toots, debuting in Puss in Toots. I love that they can play on other stories, right? And titles. It's so cool. And she actually calls him Tommy, and the mouse comes to dinner.
Oh, she's flirting now.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I like what I see. And Tom is also interested in a white kitty named Toots and the Zoot cat. Although sporting the same name, visually there's a difference between the two animated kitty characters. Hey, Kennedy, do you remember Tom singing the 1946 short Solid Serenade?
I do.
Fun fact. Did you know that the song Tom sings is Louis Jordan's Is You or Is You Ain't My Baby? In both Solid Serenade and The Zoot Cat, old romantic Tom attempts to woo female cats using a deep, heavily French accented voice and an imitation of the then popular leading actor Charles Boyer. I'm telling you, Charles Boyer. I'm telling you, Tom and Jerry, and so much of the entertainment going back then was a class act.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hence why we enjoy Tom and Jerry so very much. Purely classy.
Can't go down. That was not classy.
Can't go down.
Oh, that was righteous.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Fun fact number 2. It was co-directed. It was co-director William Hanna who provided most of the gasps, squeaks, and other nostalgic visual effects for our pair, including your personal favorite, Kennedy, the infamous leather-lunged scream. It's been explained that the iconic scream was crafted by recording William Hanna's scream and then eliminating the beginning and end of the recording, leaving only the strongest part of the scream on the soundtrack. So he too performed Jerry's famous nervous gulp.
Very, very interesting facts there, Coop. I don't know. I just absolutely adore Tom's scream. I love it.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you find out who actually did it, because it's just iconically Tom, right?
Yes.
This little animated cat, that was his voice. And so
Yeah.
it's crazy when you're like, oh yeah, that's a human being walking around doing that.
Oh my goodness. Like you said, it just flowed. It was so natural, you know?
Literally. Hand in glove. Love that.
Me too. Some of the other supporting characters are as follows: Spike the Bulldog, Tyke and his sweet pup son.
Oh.
Spike is also renamed as Butch and Killer in some shorts, depending on the era in which it was created.
Yeah.
Originally, Spike was unnamed and muted. In later shorts, Spike spoke, often using the voice talents of Billy Bletcher and Dolls Butler, whom we recently showcased his many voice contributions in the Banana Splits. Does Stinky Bingo ring a bell?
Yeah.
These voice actors models their talents after old Hollywood comedian Jim Durante. So this is just a side note, if you ever seen the winter film, The Man Who Comes to Dinner,
Yes.
he's the friend that comes toward the end that has the rough grass voice.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he speaks for Spike. Yeah, he's the epitome of Spike.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yep, that's him. I can see his face too. You know, isn't that crazy? Totally remember him.
That's why these cartoons are awesome.
I know. Love it. We're not even close to being remotely done.
Oh, no.
You know, so how can we forget to mention Butch and Toodles galore? Butch is a black cigar-smoking alley cat who often has his sights set on Jerry. He is Tom's key rival, Pain in the Rump. Butch is portrayed as the leader of Tom's alley cat buddies, those being Lightning, Topsy, Meathead.
We remember him.
I know, poor guy. And it is noted that Butch speaks up more often than Tom or Jerry in most of their cartoon shorts. Then there's Nibbles, a sweet small gray mouse baby who often appears as an orphan mouse. And how about Mammy Two Shoes?
Yeah, what about Mammy Two Shoes? But real quick, Butch, he's like, hoo-ah! Or I'll go, me Nuke!
Oh, yes. And he would have Tom run around and panicking because he's trying to keep his friend happy. He's like, Tom, you have a house. Why are you worried about this alley cat? He's like, he's still my friend.
Oh my goodness, these guys are ridiculous.
They really are.
Okay, so back to Mammy Two Shoes. Although she was highly entertaining, and she really was,
Yeah.
there were like 100 different ways of wrong that again was included, put into the various cartoon versions because as Tom's mammy or owner, it just worked for the time. But would it be overlooked or deemed acceptable in today's touch and go climate? Highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Hence, everyone and their mother and their brother crying they're offended or whatnot.
Yeah.
So what was so wrong with the Mammy Two Shoes portrayal then? Well, Mammy Two Shoes is a heavy-set, middle-aged black lady who has to regularly deal with the constant mayhem and upheaval of Tom and Jerry's stinky antics. Mammy Two Shoes was voiced by actress Lillian Randolph.
So, due to the racially insensitive portrayals that upset so many back when, the outcry gave rise to this. Fun fact, did you know or remember that Mammy's appearances have often been edited out, dubbed or reanimated as a slim Caucasian woman in later updated versions of Tom and Jerry, since her character was clearly deemed controversial in the distinctive Mammy context that had been hotly contested by civil rights groups since the 1940s.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mammy was expertly restored in the DVD version of Tom and Jerry, with an introduction provided by actress Whoopi Goldberg explaining the importance of Black American representation in the cartoon shorts, however stereotyped.
Okay. Well, as we've prefaced, unfortunately, many of the animated classics from the 30s to the 50s featured common racial stereotypes and tropes. For instance, after explosions, characters with blasted faces would resemble the controversial blackface stereotypes, sporting large lips and unattractive bow-tied hair. Even worse, Mammy is understood to be a poor black maid, which was fairly common and typical back then, who speaks with a curiously typical black accent. When these Tom and Jerry classics air in modern times, it is noted that the blackface gags are oftentimes censored so as to soften the blow of what such portrayals obviously stood for. Good job, creative execs, I guess.
So, a quick mention of a few more supporting characters as part of the Tom and Jerry cartoon carousel. There are Slick Wolf, Barney Bear, Droopy, the baby farm duck. I'm so ugly. Are you my mama?
Aww.
As we briefly shared at the beginning of our Orchard Trek Retro this week, the creative execs went on to create and distribute other versions of Tom and Jerry. Even feature films that they even jumped in on the pop culture trend of in the early 90s of doing a Tom and Jerry Kids on the pair over the years.
Okay.
So, I deem it safe to say that Tom and Jerry really left its precious nostalgic imprint on not only our collective memories, but also in our ever-loving hearts. Kennedy, what are a couple of your favorite Tom and Jerry cartoon shorts?
Okay, before I entertain answering your question, just wanted to share that we got a correct answer from TikTok from a Melba Toast one and only. She guessed on our earlier trivia question on who was the common actress who starred in both Meet Me in St. Louis as well as the original The Wizard of Oz. She guessed the late Judy Garland, and we're so grateful for your keen participation and support for this week's Trek Retro Trivia question. So thank you so much for your answer, and please keep them coming, Orchard Archivers. We always appreciate your valuable input. Retro on! Oh yeah, to answer your question, Coop, I like so many of the early controversial aired ones.
Mm-hmm.
One entitled The Truth Hurts, The Two Mouseketeers, Deputy Droopy. Oh, and I can't forget Slick Wolf and Baby Billy Goat sequences.
Oh yeah, so cute.
Yeah, and real quick, the Slick Wolf, he reminded us of one of our mama's friends. Yeah, she was cool beans, but man, straight up, when Slick popped up on there, like the was Bailey, 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 Bailey. Yeah, yeah, we miss her. She's since passed, but she was amazing.
Yeah, she was really, really cool.
Yeah, so how about you, Coop?
I would have to say, let's see, I can't think of the titles right off the top of my head, but I remember one that had Meccano in it. he, was, he was used by Tom to help get Jerry, of course, because he was always trying to come up with some kind of better mousetrap, right? So Meccano was employed by him. Let's see, the one with the little duck, he was so cute. Loved him. And man, isn't there one where they had little puppies that they needed help? They were thrown over a side or something.
Yeah, Jerry found them.
Yes. Oh, and the uncle, Jerry's uncle. I remember him too. Well, what was his name?
Oh,
Did he have a name?
I'm gonna call him Crambo because that's
Crambo.
what he was.
No, 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 no! No, please! No!
So Jerry had an uncle who came to town. And he was there and he was about ready. He was going to perform in the city. So, he stayed with Jerry Mouse and he was doing he kept trying to give Jerry a sampling of what he was going to be doing when he was on TV later on. So he's, playing his guitar and he kept breaking his guitar string. I can't play my guitar with a guitar string. So he kept plucking out Tom's whiskers.
I remember that.
So he could pluck on that. So we'll just call him Uncle Crambo.
That's right.
Crambo.
He was like, whoa,
He
tapping
was
that
nothing
boot.
but a hat, a guitar, a mustache, and boots.
Yes,
That's literally all you could see.
he was tapping that boot, and he looks like this is funny. He looks like Lloyd on you from Yellowstone. He sounds like him too. That's
He really did.
yes.
Nice thought and connection there, Kennedy.
Probably going to court, and he did right. Crambo.
Love it, love it, love it. It's so classic. Love it. So, yeah, I wish I could think of the titles, but there you go.
There we go.
So, what a most fun throwback discussion we've had. The good pleasure to Carmel engage in this week. As per usual, we could keep going on of this wonderfully, wild memories that stem from our time watching the classic offerings of Tom and Jerry. But alas, our time has come to a close.
Oh,
I know. They was and will always be the most cherished part and collection that no doubt you and I hold dear. Tom and Jerry and Friends are very entertaining and hilarious to boot, ringing in oh so nostalgic warm memories as well. Tom and Jerry is a wonderful series for both children and adults alike. Overall, yeah. I think you just watched it not too long ago, didn't you?
very recently, actually.
Like about 10 minutes ago? No, before we recorded? No.
I cheated.
So overall, it is timeless. Oh, it's a lovable classic show.
Much agreed, Cooper. What a fascinating recollection. Tom and Jerry is such a wonderful cartoon that truly Whenever we get a chance to view it, now in up against the backdrop of these troubled modern times, Tom and Jerry never fails to deliver in having those innocent childhood memories come flooding back, reminding us that this is definitely by far one of the best cartoon offerings ever. And the Irish lens squeezes us out to black.
And that's it for this week's Orchard Trek Retro. To make sure that you never miss out on another second of our Caramelicious podcast, meet up with us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Bye for now, and thanks so much for listening.